Someone offers you $100/HR to watch any movie on repeat. Which movie do you choose? The Lord of the Rings, The Return of the King extended cut. The longest possible film is probably the default meter choice. Woodstock documentary is 5 hours long and it's mostly all music you can dance to. If I'm gonna watch something over and over, I'm gonna wanna get jiggy with it. The original Woodstock documentary? That's amazing. It's got incredible music for starters, and seeing it live from that time is really fun. Plus the shots of the crowds and other things on there really give an interesting insight into the times. Primer. I doubt I'd have it figured out after 20 hours, so that's 2 G's right there. As soon as I finished watching that, I spent like an hour reading flowcharts and synopsis on what happened. I'm still confused. I had a somewhat opposite experience. I saw the movie and left thinking, wow, that's so clever. I can't believe X made Y happen. And no one saw Z coming. I saw a flowchart a little later, and it was more like, I'm too much of an idiot to even realize how much I missed. Something in Spanish with subtitles, so I can become bilingual and understand my Spanish speaking patients without a translator and get paid for the engaging activity. That reminds me of the Zach Galifianakis quote. I want to learn Spanish so that I can watch the Spanish channel and figure out what I've been laughing at for all these years. Stephen Wright said he bought a Learn to Speak Spanish in Your Sleep record, but during the night the record skipped, and now he can only stutter in Spanish. God save Stephen Wright. One I disliked. Because not matter what movie it is, I'll end up hating it anyway. For $100 an hour I'll watch any stupid movie. I wouldn't want to watch scary movies though. Honestly, a scary movie might not be that bad. Horror movies get a lot of their horror from the unknown. So once you've seen everything that'll happen 2 to 3 times, you can just focus on all the little mistakes that most people wouldn't catch on their first viewing. Also, a lot of scary movies have terrible writing, which could become a humorous thing to focus on in a The Room sort of way. Speaking of The Room, I imagine it could qualify as psychological horror if someone was forced to watch it on repeat for a few days while in isolation. Imagine watching it so much that you become conditioned into seeing Tommy Wiseau as normal human behavior. Throw in the ridiculous amount of money you earn by watching it so much, and you've basically found a way to turn people into Tommy. Okay, so I actually have some context for this. My friend and I got really into The Room, and bad movies in general, in college. We were always up for a challenge, and one year, we decided to watch The Room once a day and just see how long we could go in a year. We had certain rules. You could skip a day, but you had to watch it twice the next day. You could listen to the audio in the car, but you had to finish the movie visually at some point, etc. I made it 38 days. He made it 42. It became a nightmare. You memorize it really fast and, by day 10, begin responding to the characters. 2 weeks in, and it was my dream every night. It was literally ruining my life because I knew, at some point, I was watching The Room that day, and once I was done, I dreaded the next day because it meant The Room. My friend fell almost a week behind and slammed it 6 times in a row. It was brutal. When I was 14, I watched Titanic 3 times in a day. Easy money. When I worked at Walmart in electronics, that was basically my job. Watch Finding Nemo for 8 hours a day on loop, or whatever comparable kids movie had recently come out, and I got a hear of a lot less than $100/H for it. We had Megamind on repeat with one of the Samsung displays, I think. Tangled and then eventually Wreck-It Ralph. They might be good movies, but it really does make you angry stuck listening to them 8 hours a day. When your friends say they want to watch a movie, and you roll your eyes, because you know whatever they choose, you've seen it a million times. Literally. Figuratively. Everyone seems to be interpreting this as being like a job, where you're doing it for tens of hours a week as your primary form of income. But what if you just do it every now and then for supplemental income, something like HMM? The car needs a new timing belt, but we are a little short. Guess I'm watching Dark Knight a few times this weekend. Apostrophe. How could you go to work for whatever your normal hourly rate is knowing that you could be in bed watching Shrek 2 with a bowl of buttery popcorn and earning $100 an hour? Maybe you take a job as a security guard or something. and sit in your little shed watching Shrek 2 all day. No joke. That's really what my hospital's parking ticket officers do all day. That's the job I want. Probably Hot Fuzz, so I can just keep spotting details each time. I was going to say Shaun of the Dead for the same reason. Scott Pilgrim for me. Groundhog Day, a loop within a loop. I think I'd go crazy. Watching it twice a day, from Monday to Thursday, 208 days a year. So that's 416 x 141. Length of the movie equals 692 hours of Groundhog Day. That's 69k a year. That really doesn't sound too bad. 3-day weekend. Less than 4 hours of work a day. I could live with that. Also, as long as you're averaging 8 viewings/week, you should be golden, meaning you could smash out the whole lot in 2 days then take the rest of the week off. A sweet opportunity to travel, as you'll be able to work anywhere and have tons of free time. The Fifth Element. At least you got lunch. Good philosophy. See good and bad. I like. We've had one Lord of the Rings. Yes. But what about second Lord of the Rings? Oh brother, where art thou? Or The Big Lebowski. That's just like, your opinion man. Over the line. No. Walter. You're not wrong. You're just an ash. Forget it. Donnie. You're out of your element. The Princess Bride. You've made one of the classic blunders. Nothing like a good MLT. You know, a mutton. Lettuce and tomato. No good. I've known too many Spaniards. Anybody want a peanut? Monsters University. We watch it no fewer than 5x a day at our toddler's insistence, so daddy may as well get paid for it. I'm amazed I had to scroll so far to find a parent saying this. I was thinking, anything my youngest wants, we will have to watch it multiple times per day anyway, so might as well get paid. He's autistic and fixates on one movie every few months, and it has to be on somewhere in the house, or he gets anxious. We had Toy Story, the first one, for the whole summer. Autumn was Minions. Winter is SpongeBob movie. Where do I get my cash? :close bracket. Mean Girls. That movie is so fetch. Stop trying to make fetch happen. It's not going to happen. Monty Python and the Holy Grail. I could never get tired of that. 'Tis but a scratch. Stop. Who would cross the bridge of death must answer me these questions 3. The other side he see. The Matrix. I've seen The Matrix several hundred times. When I got it, when I was 11ish, I watched it 3x that day and almost daily afterwards. I remember my mother hiding it and becoming afraid it was turning me into a school shooter or something. I actually watched the trilogy for the first time in years this weekend. Such a good movie. The sequels are better than people give credit for too. Worth a rewatch. Of course no film stacks up with the original though. Dodge this. Jaws. But I wouldn't get anything else done. Every time I stumble upon that movie, I end up watching the rest of it. Clue. Christmas Vacation. I watch it pretty much on a loop during the season anyway. May as well get paid too. Fight Club. You notice new things every time. Super Troopers. I watched this and Starship Troopers on repeat for one of my year-long deployments. My dad can quote all of Starship Troopers. I've watched it with him before, and he would always whisper the next line a half a second before it happened. Maybe your dad just has latent psychic abilities? He could join military intelligence. Service guarantees citizenship. The Dark Knight. Spaceballs. Snatch. Saving up for a periwinkle blue caravan I see.